'Cause I won't waste. Peace, y'all. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Display capture image. Downloads. All right. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Uh, we're just gonna dive straight into it. Today will be very informative. Today we will discuss how we go about finding land for discounted prices from landowners throughout the country. We'll discuss today how we go around the auction. The last live that I did, I broke down the world of tax deed investing, what tax deed investing is, why it's important, how you can be involved, things like that. Price points, some of the wins, places that you could invest in. Today, we want to focus on something a little deeper, how we make bigger money, how we make larger money as land investors, right? So I'll give a little backstory. When I first got involved, or when we first got involved in land investing 10 years ago, we started with tax deed investing. And we had some success in that world of tax deed investing. In fact, in contrast to what our 9 to 5s was paying us, we made great headway. We did really well. We were making a couple of $100,000 off of tax deed investing, right? But by no means were we ready to walk away from our 9 to 5 jobs because things were still tight. We lived in the state of New York, and making over $100,000 is not cracked up or as good as it sounds, right? Not living here. Anyway, we wanted more. We wanted larger deals. And when we were doing tax deed investing, we were just buying smaller deals, infill lots, lots that's in suburban and urban communities. We were buying lots less than $500, less than $1,000, less than $5,000, and things of that nature. This was before we had the name Acre Boys. And then I said, if I could just get my hands on an acre, I would be pleased. If I can just get my hands on an acre. So what did we do? We do what we always recommend that you should do. You should find someone to teach you how to do the thing that you're attempting to do, right? So we don't just throw this information out there. I'm really just giving you what has worked for me. I'm really just giving you a chance to borrow my experience. And what you do with that is what you do with that. If you take it and run with it, great. If it doesn't work to you or if it doesn't apply, they say, let it fly. It worked for me, is what I'm saying, right? So we sought after mentorship that can teach us how to go out and find large acreage for discounted prices. And we stumbled into a group, right? I've been in this industry now for 10 years. When we got involved, there were really two OG groups that was involved that were teaching, right? And we come from one of those groups. And they mentored us really well. And we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know how to go out and find large acreage, right? So this is why I say have a day one, right? Don't be afraid to have a day one, right? No one knows in the beginning what they're doing. And we're still on the clock. We're still learning things as we go. Do we have a ton of experience at this point? Yes, we do. But does things change? Do we need to, always stay and sharpen our sword to stay ahead of the curve? Absolutely. Nothing stays the same. If you're not growing, you're dying, right? So we're always still learning new things, right? Our knowledge base may be a lot further than someone who hasn't had the same amount of time on the clock naturally. So these mentors taught us how to go out and make offers and put offers into the market. And then our very first land transaction that we did was a 3 acre that we picked up for, what did we buy that for? 5,500. We bought 3 acres for $5,500 in an area that we were already buying tax deeds in. We were familiar with the area, so we stayed in an area that we were familiar in. We paid $5,500 for a 3-acre property, and we sold it for $15,000. That was our very first large acreage flip. And I was like, wow, that was 3 acres. It was a proud moment, to say the least. And to make a long story short, we went on to buy a lot of acres. Our largest acquisition being 260 acres. And within the last 4 years, let's stay there. During that process, we were on social, Instagram in particularly, and we were just putting our wins up. Sold this, and whatever we bought and sold, we'll just take a screenshot and we just put it out there. We had no aspirations of teaching. We had no aspirations of none of the things that we're doing now, right? Your plans always have plans for you. And people, I guess, it's social media. We can't control who sees what. And we got contacted by a group of guys that said, man, y'all going crazy with the land thing. What are y'all doing? Like, how y'all coming across all of this land and buying and selling all of these acres? And we went out and did an interview with them. And then once again, we didn't know about selling courses or creating courses or anything like that. That's why I'm a firm believer. You have to just go. Take imperfect action, right? You just see the finished product. And it sounds and look like we have it all together. But there was a time and a date that we didn't have it all together. This is imperfect action. This is us correcting things as we go. I didn't know about putting the course together, right? I had that imposter syndrome mind frame like many of you do. I had that, could I do these? Could I do this? Those were the same thoughts that I dealt with like some of you do. Could I really do this? I don't know. This is too new. What if I can't get this right? I don't want to waste my time. I'd rather just do what's been working, right? Because naturally, we seek comfort. The brain seeks comfort. The body seeks comfort. Anytime we're starting something new, it pulls us out of our comfort zone. Then we give pushback. So we don't pick up on new things because we're comfortable with the things that we're good at doing. So Mike Tyson had a quote that says, run to the things that you fear. Now that depends on what you fear, if I agree or not, but I understand where he was coming from. So we didn't want to do a course. It took us 8 months to complete that course. We just didn't want to do it. It wasn't our thing. Mind you, we talk about it now. My partner had never had a social media page. Not a Facebook page, not an Instagram page. Nowhere was he to be found on social media. He wasn't the social guy. This is why I'm trying to tell you. You see the Acre Boys these days. We've just committed to become better and getting better. And we've gotten better. There was a day one. I just said to you that my partner, who some of you see every day on social, making posts, making videos, 4 years later, you would never know he never spoke before. You would never know he'd never made one video before. Unless I told you. But he committed to the mission. He committed to saying, if that's what it takes for us to get to where we got to get to, if we're going to do this, I'm in. And do you think that it was always correct or perfect? Absolutely not. Anybody that's been following the journey of us or our journey, if you remember the early stages of the videos, it was terrible looking. We only keep them up because I want you to see the growth. We were on there with Nike hats on, Adidas shirts, terrible quality of cameras. We didn't speak as well. We wasn't as assertive. So when people are hesitant to move forward, I always say, you have to have a day one. There's only one way to get better. You have to take action. That's it. All the listening, You're on the fence about everything. Make a decision. That's the best thing that you can do for yourself. Commit or don't commit. And if you're not going to commit, find the thing that you're going to commit to. Stop wasting time with things that you're doing nothing with. I've had people that say to me, hey man, I've been following you for 3 years. You've been following for 3 years and you've been wanting to do this for 3 years? I respect it. Respectfully, you should make decisions faster. Time ain't on our side. That's all that I'm saying. So let's teach. Because I'm on a time schedule today. So direct to owner is exactly what it says. We go directly to landowners throughout the country, any given county at any given time, and we present them with an offer to buy their land. No offers, no business. You'll never buy land if no one knows you're on the market to buy. Or you'll be on the retail market, i.e. Zillow, Lands of America, Land and Farms, Land Century, wherever you shop for your land online. That's called the retail markets. It is extremely hard to get the kind of deals that we want to be involved in on a retail site. Can you get them off a retail site? Yes, you can. They're far and few apart. However, how do you get a deal off a retail market? Well, here's game. You want to target properties if you're on the first of all, I don't even suggest that you deal with the retail market. But because there's always a free 99 person, and I'm not frowning on you if that's you. We deal with them all. But if that is you, right, and you're saying, Acre Boys, I don't want to pay for a course, I always say, whether you deal with me or you don't deal with me, I really don't care. I only want who wants me. Anyway. So I don't care if I give you game and you run with it and use it and it works for you. Great. Good for you. It won't interfere with anything that we do. So if you are a free 99er and you're on the market and you're looking to get deals from on market listings, my suggestion would be target properties that's been on the market for 100 plus days or more. Those are the properties, well, not 100 days. No, let me correct that. 100 days is only 3 months. You want 365 days or more. Properties that's been on the market for at least a year. The likelihood of you being able to drop the prices or make a low offer on those are high. That was a strategy for some of my friends in this business that it worked. They had success doing that. Now, the thing is, with that, you still have to have a good eye to know how to evaluate what you're looking to pick up. Because just because it's price conducive doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good property. In fact, if it's been on the market for over a year, you should raise your eyebrows and wonder why. Because we find that there's only the two main reasons that land doesn't sell is one, something's wrong with it, or two, it's overpriced. Now you have to put your thinking cap on and figure out what's going on with the deal. That's if you're going to play on the market. Once again, I must reiterate, I don't suggest or advise if you're really trying to make money, right? If you're really trying to make money, I don't suggest you even go that route. But that was for my free 99ers. For those that's really trying to get to it, right, and cut the learning curve, here's what I suggest. I suggest that you learn how to put offers out into the market. What's an offer, right? That's a letter that goes out to landowners in any said county. Let's just take what's the county? Let's take North Carolina and pick a county, a said county, Johnson County, North Carolina. If I were interested in land there, we have the capability to pull up all the landowners in Johnson County. If I was interested in just 3 acres in Johnson County, I could put a campaign together that says, I'm looking to buy 3 acres of land in Johnson County for this price point. This is the power of going direct to owner, because now we don't have to deal with auctions. When we deal with auctions, auctions tell us what's available that we can buy. Auctions tell us how much we have to buy it at. Auctions tell us when to buy it and how to buy it. When we go direct to owner, we take all of that power back from the auction. This is why I say we go around the auction. We say when we want to buy it. We say what we want to buy. We say how much we want to buy it for. Then we put offers out in the marketplace, and we put a lot of offers out. Thousands of offers out, right? Ask yourself this question. If I put out 3,000 offers in Johnson County, do you think, right? And there's no right or wrong answer, but do you think that I may get a deal or two out of 3,000 offers? It's a real question, right? And this is how we conduct the business. We don't drive for dollars. We're not sending out email blasts. We're not using text message blasts, although that is an avenue that you could explore to make contact, right? But we simply put offers out in the market and we wait for sellers to contact us and say, hey, I got your offer, I'm interested. And then we do the business. It's reversed. When they call, because you may be thinking, well, how do we know, or how do you know out of those 3,000 offers, which are the good properties? I don't know until they call with interest to sell. Then once they sell or call with interest to sell, we'll take a look at the property to see if we're interested in buying. Because we're not looking to buy everything. Everything is not always a good deal. So we start doing the business at that point. We start doing evaluations at that point. We start looking to see if the price that we offer is something that we want to stick or something that we want to renegotiate. For instance, we had a training call last night. My group trains every Wednesday, 7 p.m. And I have a young guy that's involved, and he's trying to buy 10 acres in a county in Arkansas. He sent out an offer for $67,000. My job is to review it. In this case, he wants us to put the $67,000 up for him. That's called deal funding. We'll put money up for students' deals, and we'll split the proceeds and the profits. We'll split it 50-50. So this particular deal, which he offered $67,000, the homeowner wants to sell. After we took a look at the deal, and he has gotten a realtor's opinion, right? That's a part of doing the business. You want a realtor or an expert in the area. You want to know their opinion about price points, about comps, about what we could sell it for, right? Realtor quoted we should be able to sell for $130,000, right? Now, with the experience we have, we don't just get one quote or one comp or one realtor's opinion or BPO broker's opinion, right? We always say get 2 or 3, because if all of our deals are cash deals. So if we're looking to put out $67,000, we need to be sure as possible that this is a good deal. We don't ever want to lose on deals. So we always say, go and get 2 or 3 opinions. And then we weigh those 2 or 3 opinions up against what we can see with our own physical eyes from our viewpoint. So the 3 comps that he came back with was, one realtor said we should be able to list, not sell. No one can tell you what you'll sell at, right? Only the market will dictate that. Once it happened with an ED, then you can say that's what we sold at, right? They only can give you a guesstimate, an educated guess of what they would list at based upon them being the expert in the area. So she stated 130,000, we would list that. Another realtor said, I would list that 120,000. And then the third realtor said, on the low end, I would list that 100,000. On the high end, 130 is what I would expect. Now, if I'm in at 67,000, which broker's opinion do you think sticks out to me the most? Which one do you think we would make decisions off of? It's a real question. You can answer that in your head, or you can comment in the chat on that. I'll tell you which one that we would make decisions off. Not the highest. We would make decisions off the lowest. We all like the highest. Good answer. Josiah said 100K. Great answer. We all could deal with the highest amount of money, right? No one's going to have a problem with the highest amount, right? So we want to deal with the lowest amount. Worst case scenario, because I stated we don't want to lose money on any deal. So always we deal with worst case scenario. So worst case scenario, am I comfortable with paying 67,000 to make 100,000? And for me, the answer is no. It's kind of tight. It's a tight deal, right? That means that it has to sell for the 100. There's fees that's involved in the deal. There's realtor's fees, typically, which is 6% or 7%. Then there's closing costs. Ballpark, if we sell at 100, you're probably looking at about $7,000-8,000 worth of fees. $7,000-8,000 on top of 67 puts us at like close to 75,000. If we sell at 100, that's only $25,000 profit. We still have to split the profit with the student that bought the deal. So now you see how these pots they shrink really fast. So now we put 67,000 out to make 12,000. It's not really an attractive deal at that point. I can buy a tax deed and make 12,000 off a tax deed. So I went back to the student and I said, it's his first deal, by the way. I said, you have to go and drop the price, which is hard for new students or new investors. It's hard for them to drop the price. And I know it is because I've been there. You're not the most comfortable with negotiating deals. You're not the most comfortable with talking on the phone to sellers. And you're certainly not comfortable with dropping price off somebody that you got excited at a higher price point. But it's something that you have to do if you want to get to the finish line, right? So I suggested that he drop the price to 55,000. I'll do 55,000 because based upon what I can see, I don't think it's going to sell Josiah at that 100,000, right? That's worst case scenario. I almost feel like and we have an eye, I've dealt with the area before, it's probably going to sell somewhere around that 115,000, 118,000, right in the middle of what the quotes we got. We got a quote from 100,000 to 130,000. It's probably somewhere in between there. We'll list, because you can list at whatever you like to list at. I'm going to list at 135. In my head, I'm willing for someone, or willing to let it go somewhere around 110, 115. And I'm willing for someone to feel like they got a $20,000, $25,000 discount. That's the psych behind that. So I'm comfortable with paying 55, listing for 130, and selling for 115, 110. That's a good deal for me. Ask yourself this question. Is that a good deal to you? Buy for 55, list for 130, and let it fly. We may get lucky, right? We may get lucky and sell it for the 130. That would be great. But I'm comfortable if I sell for 115. Really what moves me more about these situations and deals is not necessarily the price point. It's the speed of the deal is what I'm looking for. Not the price point. Because you can have the best spreads coming into it, the best numbers, but if the market is slow, you're not going to make money in a slow market. You want to play in markets that have movement. Things are selling. I'd rather make less money and sell 2 deals in a faster market than have the best spread in a slow market. Speed. We want speed. We want deals to move. What's a good time limit for a deal to move? That's called days on market. You tell me how fast you want to make your money. I would love to sell it within 90 days, within 3 months. That's good land investing time. Right? So you have to have offers out in the market. By the way, comment the word deal, D-E-A-L. We have a class going on this upcoming Tuesday. We have a class going on. Comment the word deal. You have to get yourself in the room. You have to get yourself behind closed doors to be a part of these kind of things. Find you a tribe. Find you a tribe that can lend money once you find a valuable deal, right? Do you have anybody that'll give you $67,000 if you found the deal? If you don't, you should find somebody, right? These are great ways to make side money. I'm going to see if I can bring this up because I want to show you what some of this side money looks like with coming from some of our students. This is last night testimonial that came in. I did share it on my wall. Let me see if it'll pull up here so you can listen to one of our mentees. Let me see if it'll play. Talk to me in the chat. Talk to me in the chat and let me know if you can hear this testimonial.
Hey guys, my name is Sonardo. I just wanted to come and give you guys a quick update on the deals I've been working on with the Acre Boys. I recently just closed on my very first self-funded deal. It was a buy for $12,500 and I closed it for just under $40,000 at $39,500.
Stop. Let me stop there. First deal that he mentioned was a self-funded deal, meaning he used his own money, meaning that he put offers out into the market, right? He made contact with a seller, negotiated a deal. Seller agreed to it for what he just said, for $12,500. He put the deal on the market. By the way, this guy, Sonardo, he's been with us for over a year. But when he first came in, just like many of you, this is why I say have a day one. No experience, never done any real estate investing whatsoever. That's why I say also, if you can learn, you can earn. Comment the word deal, D-E-A-L, to get yourself in the room. You have to get in these rooms, right? While they're going on. So $12,000 he paid for a property, vacant piece of land in the county that he's investing in. Then you heard him say that he just received funds for the deal, meaning cash has came to his bank account. He sold for $39,500. Property was only listed for 2 weeks. That's the kind of speed that we're talking about, that I like. Property listed for 2 weeks, he sold for $39,000. You do the math. Buy for 12, sell for $39,000, and that's what he walked home with, minus fees, minus realtor fee, minus closing costs. Right? So let's listen to more of what he said.
And I currently have a second property on the market. It was a buy for $3,000 and it's currently on the market for $19,900.
Currently, I have on the market a property that I bought for $3,000 and it's on the market for $19,000, which means he didn't sell this one yet. What does this mean? He has potential. He has potential profits waiting once he gets to the finish line with this one. A buy for $3,000, sell for $19,000. Type of deal I would like to be involved in. What is that? That's almost at least a 6x your profit if it sells for $19,000. We cross our fingers that it sells at the highest price points on that particular deal. You have to position yourself for the win. He's in position to win with that deal. It's on the market. I promise you one thing, he won't lose with those numbers.
And my very first deal that I worked on with the Acre Boys, they funded that deal. They gave me the $6,000 to fund it, and we sold it for $26,000. So thank you, Acre Boys, and invest in Nerd is the cleanest way to make money.
All right, that's my guy. Last deal that he mentioned was he did a deal with the Acre Boys that we funded, meaning that he put offers out into the market. He learned the business. He put offers out in the market. He made contact with a seller. He bought the deal to the Acre Boys and said, hey, I don't want to use my own money. Would you put up deal funding, put $6,000 up for the deal? We looked at the deal, thought it was a good deal. Yes, we'll put the $6,000 up. We sold the deal. I don't remember how much time that one took. It's an older deal, but we sold the deal for $26,000. What happens at that point? We get our initial $6,000 back. The remaining profits that's on the table, we split 50-50. I believe he made a walk once fees came out. He walked with, I don't know, $8,500, something like that. Good deal. Good way to stay in position, right? And what happens when students or mentees win? What happens when they get to the finish line? Their confidence level go up. Then they start to swing harder. So what we find is that the investors that score, they always go back and have repeat success. Because now they believe in what they're doing. They believe that this works. So once again, you have to have a day one. You have to get started. You have to take imperfect action. You have to put your trust in someone to make you feel comfortable to say, all right, I trust you. I trust the process. Let's go. And that's all that he did. So putting offers out in the market, this is how we get discounted land. This is how you get it for discounted prices as opposed to going on the market. If it's on the market, a realtor's job is to get the most money for their client and themselves. They're not going to just leave meat on the bone and just wait for you and say, here's a sweet deal for you, dear sir or madam. It does not work that way. You have to target off-market deals. Land sellers that's not on the market to sell. These sellers, once we make contact with them, most of the time, they haven't even thought about selling the property until an offer comes that says, hey, dear sir or madam, I'm interested in buying your property that you may not be using, or you're sick of paying taxes on, or you may just need this money that I'm offering at the time. Whatever the reason is, I don't know why people decide to sell things or accept prices. But if you don't have an offer out, you will never make money. Is all I'm saying. So comment the word deal, D-E-A-L. I am on a time limit today. How much time do we got? We've been talking for 33 minutes. I am on a time limit. So that was a quick breakdown of direct to owner. Comment that word deal, D-E-A-L. Join us Tuesday at our class on Tuesday, and we'll break down how you can get involved, right? We'll give you all the ins and outs. You can talk to us directly on that call. We'll answer all of your questions on that call, but you have to get yourself in the room in order to really get to the information. And the only way to make things happen is to take action. You can meditate, you can pray, you can cross your fingers, you can do whatever, all of that good stuff. And I suggest that you do so. But at some point, you're going to have to take some action. You can listen, you can study, you can chat GPT, you can YouTube, you can do all of those things. But at some point, you are going to have to take action. Never seen it work no other way. All right? And y'all stop me. Stop me when I'm lying. If I'm lying, say you lying, Ray. All right, I got to cut out. Last call for the bar. Comment the word deal, right? Josiah, do me a favor. DM me. Let me break this down. I do apologize. If you're on TikTok, DM me the word deal if you're on TikTok, because we're streaming on all platforms. If you're on Instagram or if you're on Facebook, comment the word deal. If you're on YouTube, you can comment the word deal. But if you are on TikTok, you have to DM me, Josiah. DM me the word deal, so I'll make sure that I get it and I respond to you. Then I'll send you back a link to register for the class. It's free. It's no charge to show up. Nothing beats free, right? It's no charge to come and hear the information. So those are the instructions. DM me on TikTok. Comment on the other platforms. All right, I have to go. Peace, y'all.